morning, Nigeria. Good morning, Africa. This is Lucy Ora on Daybreak Africa, reaching you live from television Nigerian, Guzofe Hills, Abuja. The television that gives you all the trending news on politics, entertainment, sports, and lots more. With me this morning on the program is
Sandra Guana. Good morning, Africa, and good morning, Nigeria. Lucy, I must confess, you look very
Thank you, Sandra.
take away this morning.
Thank
What
you,
is the
Sandra.
secret so that we'll share with the whole of Africa and Nigeria?
Don't worry, I'll take you the secret after the program. Thank you for joining me this morning.
Thank you.
You know, we're going to take you into everything that's happened this week. I noticed there's a lot of security issues going on this week. You know, it keeps popping up here and there. You know,
Recently, this one that we just heard yesterday, that a village close to Maiduguri was attacked.
Yes.
The village, precisely, I think the village called Molai also was attacked shortly after the Muslim faithful finished their fast. They were about to just enjoy themselves. People just came from somewhere to come and attack them. So precisely, we don't know how the federal government is going to handle this issue, because it's from one attack to the other.
I think the security issue keeps getting worse by the day. I don't know if it's getting worse or if it's getting better, but you know, it just keeps happening off and on. And then there's this rumor going around.
Because we don't know how true that rumor is.
Yes, that the federal government has, gave McBan about 100 billion to stop kidnapping and
so that they would go and form a way to create their own ranches so they can stop the kidnapping issue. But we don't know how true that is.
Yes,
or actually, the federal government came out to come and say that that is not true, certainly. But let's see how it goes. This is Nigeria.
Let's hope that everyone gets safe, and everybody gets safe. And don't forget, remember what the police talked about yesterday on their Twitter handle. We talked about it yesterday on the program. What you have to do when you get to a police checkpoint, So this tells us what's happening for the week. We're going to go right straight to AM News after this short break. Be with us.
Good morning, this is the AM News. I am Priscilla Iwurm. The Speaker of the House of Representatives, Yakubu Dogara, says the leadership style in Nigeria only favors the political godfathers, not the people, blaming the country's major problem on lack of leadership, not corruption, as widely believed. Dogara stated this on Tuesday while addressing young elected lawmakers at an event tagged the Convergence 2.0 Leadership, Power and Politics for Democracy Renewal, organized by Yaga Africa and the Not Too Young to Run movement in Abuja. According to the speaker, Nigeria needs a leader who would help build a nation, not a godfather who demand to be served and worshipped, adding that political godfathers make their anointed candidates sell their souls, leaving them to feed on crumbs to run political governance so as to be worshipped. The speaker, who charged the young legislators to be persons of character, also advised the lawmakers to be leaders of the truth, regardless of who is in or against. Osun State People's Democratic Party candidate in last year's governorship election, Senator Ademola Adeleke, was on Tuesday granted a 2 million naira bail after he was arraigned by the police before a magistrate court in Pape, Abuja, on a fresh 5-count charge. In the new charge, the senator is accused of making false claims in respect of his academic credentials and forging same, and also submitting the forged credentials to the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) when he contested senatorial election in 2017 and governorship in 2018 on the platform of the PDP. Adeleke pleaded not guilty when the charge was read to him, following which Magistrate Mohammed Shuberu granted him bail at 2 million naira with one surety, who must reside within the jurisdiction of the court, and also granted Adeleke permission to travel abroad to attend to his health, as earlier granted by a federal high court in Abuja and a high court of Osun State in Ikiron. A similar charge pending before the Federal High Court Abuja, in which Adeleke is currently being tried with 4 others, was instituted by the police. Acting Inspector General of Police Mohammed Adamu has denied the allegation that the federal government offered to pay Meti Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria MACBAN 100 billion naira to shun kidnapping in the country. Following reports in the social media, the Human Rights Writers Association of Nigeria had frowned at the alleged plan by the federal government to appease MACBAN with 100 billion naira to set up cattle ranches for their livestock, describing the action as a constitutional crime. Adamu debunked the allegation on Tuesday in Abuja while speaking with newsmen shortly after a closed-door section that lasted more than 2 hours at the Senate, stressing that the need for such agreements between the federal government and MACBAN did not arise if kidnapping in the country was to be tackled. Describing the social media report as the figment of imagination framed up to distract attention. The Kano State House of Assembly on Tuesday passed a life pension bill for its Speaker and Deputy Speaker after the proposal scaled a third reading. The bill, Pension Rights of Speaker and Deputy Speaker 2019, gives the presiding officers the privilege to earn life benefits following the expiration of their tenure. In addition, the duo would enjoy medical trips once in 12 months and choice vehicles every 4 years. In 2018, the Assembly rejected a similar bill seeking life pensions for Governor and Deputy Governor. Former Speaker and member representing Faji constituency Abdullahi Atta had led the argument that the idea was economically unsustainable. Should Governor Abdullahi Umar Ganduje decline assent, he would be towing the line of his Bayelsa State counterpart Seraki Dixon, who recently turned down a bill seeking life pension for the state serving and former lawmakers. And that was the AE News. Thank you so much for watching. The Daybreak continues shortly after this break. Don't go away.
Thank you, Priscilla, for the news update. Because this is Daybreak Africa, of course, and since we've just taken the news in Nigeria, let's go across Africa and find out what is happening in the rest of Africa.
Welcome to News Across Africa on Daybreak Africa. As South Africans go to the polls on Wednesday in one of the most competitive national elections since the first multiracial vote in 1994, the leader of South Africa's main opposition party over the weekend urged voters to give change a chance in next week's general elections after 25 years of ANC rule. Musi Maimane told more than 10,000 Democratic Alliance supporters at Durbansville Stadium in Soweto that it was time for change as the country battles corruption, poverty and high unemployment. Senegalese lawmakers on Saturday approved a constitutional reform to scrap the post of Prime Minister, the first initiative of President Macky Sall's second term in office. The motion passed with 124 members of parliament voting in favor and only 7 against, following a debate over the weekend by a parliament where the president's party enjoys a majority. The country's lawmakers also backed legislative changes aimed at preventing the president from dissolving the National Assembly, which in turn can no longer table a motion of no confidence against the government. Algerian police over the weekend arrested Said Bouteflika, the youngest brother of former President Abdulaziz Bouteflika, and 2 former intelligence chiefs, Generals Bashir Atamani Tagat and Mohamed Medien. Said Bouteflika, who served as a top advisor to the presidency for more than a decade, acted as Algeria's de facto ruler after his brother suffered a stroke in 2013, which left him in a wheelchair, while his arrest signaled the climax of moves aimed at dismantling of the Bouteflika system. Massive ongoing protests calling for a radical change to Bouteflika's regime pushed the ailing president to resign on April 2nd, but demonstrators continue to demand the removal of all those linked to the former administration. South Sudan's regional group IGAD, in a statement on Friday, said the country's ruling and opposition parties had agreed to give themselves 6 more months to form a unity government as part of peace deals they signed in September. President Salva Kiir over the weekend lifted a state of emergency imposed in 2017 in 5 northern states of the country in a bid to help foster peace. South Sudan gained independence from Sudan in 2011, but descended into the civil war 2 years later, and after a string of failed agreements, a peace deal was signed last September between the two sides, represented by Kiir and his former deputy rival, Riek Machar. The Anti-Human Trafficking Unit of Eastern Region Police Command, in collaboration with Ghana's Navy, has rescued 16 children between the ages of 5 and 13, allegedly trafficked to an island at Afram Plains to embark on hazardous work, mostly fishing. The team is still searching for 8 more victims trafficked to same location at Egrepota, an island community, whose foster parents fled with them during an operation on Saturday, April 27, 2019. The Eastern Regional Police Command has, through a recent undercover investigation, gathered with pictorial evidence the existence of 24 trafficked children, including 1 girl, engaged in forced labor in the community. That's the news across Africa in brief. Daybreak Africa continues in a moment. Stay tuned.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is Daybreak Africa, reaching you live from Guzope Hill, from Television Nigeria, Guzope Hills, Abuja. Right now, we're going to go straight on the newspaper review, just like we always do it. We go to the streets and we find out what you have to tell us about the headlines. Victor is there to show us what we have for today.
Good morning, Africans. It's a beautiful morning here in Area 10, Abuja, and I'm pretty sure it's a better morning for Liverpool fans all over the world. Last night, Liverpool overturned a 3-0 deficit to defeat Barcelona 4-0 to advance to the next stage. Who could actually believe that? No, but actually a lot of people thought it was going to be impossible. It was end of the road for Liverpool, but like they said, they never walked alone, so they triumphed. But it wasn't only in the world of sport that a lot were happening, also a lot happening in the world of politics, business and all of that. So we'll be reviewing the papers once again right on the streets here. Please, let's go. So our rest of newspaper here today, all having different headlines, and we'll be looking at a very particular place to start. Maybe we should start from Daily Sun and see what Daily Sun is saying. The screaming headline there: insecurity and Lake Chad. Buhari seeks UN's help. Riders puts population of displaced children at 1 million. Says I won't disappoint in second term. And the picture story below that headline is that of Senator Ademola Adeleke in his court appearance yesterday. Just beside the headmast, you have Atiku, PDP open case against APC at tribunal. Panel to also hear petitions of 3 other political parties. Okay, below the picture story, you have NSITF bird, Ingige NLC in messy fight. We will block minister anywhere we have him, says Waba. I can't be intimidated, Labour minister. That story, entire of it, is on page 37. Adeleke arranged, granted bail. Also gets court nod to travel abroad for medical. That is on page 4 and 5. Senate grease IGP for 3 hours. Police to recruit 10,000. Okay, to beef up security. That is also on page 4. And that's all we could take from Daily Sun. Let's look at the Tribune. Yes, the Nigerian Tribune. What does it have? The Nigerian Tribune says insecurity, shortage of personnel, hampering operations. That is the IGP. And the riders there to recruit 10,000 policemen this year denies alleged offer of 100 billion to Meyeti Allah. Okay. Our Senate greets police chief for 2 hours in closed session. My abductors were Fulani herdsmen. Over 5 million naira paid to secure my release, says OAU Prof. No Fulani gunmen attack travelers in Osun Highway. On Osun Highway, says the police. PDP Atiku blasts Buhari over comments on kidnapping IGP. I know my responsibilities. I won't let Nigerians down. That is Buhari. All of these stories are contained on page 2, 3, and 4. Electoral Amendment Bill. Reps approve substitution of death candidates in election within 7 days. That's on page 6. People susceptible to asthma should avoid cockroaches and cats. That is from the experts. And above, at the head of it, you have presidential election. Tribunal begins sitting today. Assembly adopts reports to appoint 4 new emirs in Kano. And that is all for Tribune. So we should look at the Guardian. Yes. Guardians are the major headline there. This happened yesterday along Abuja Airport Road. Protesters block Yemi Osibanjo's convoy, accuse army of land grab. Vice President promises to resolve conflict. We can prove ownership, says Burutai. And that story continues on page 6. Yeah. Below the picture story, you have Kano Assembly passes life pension bill for Speaker and Deputy. Wow. Beneficiaries to enjoy medical tourism, choice cars. House adopts report seeking partition of Kano Emirates. And all of that story also continues on page 6. You'll find it on page 6. House of Representatives reconsiders electoral amendment bill. Pharmacists protest against missing PCN bill, PSN, ACPN 6 Buhari's assent. That is on page 8. And that is all we can take for guidance. That is all we can take for guidance. Let's look at leadership. Leadership here, what does it have? Okay, the major headline here, insecurity. FG sets up committee on state police. Panel to submit report in 2 months. Police beam searchlight on officers aiding bandits, kidnappers. Senators IGP meet. Nigerian Air Force now kills 20 bandits in Zamfara. All of that story you find it on page 4. US-China tensions, threat to world economy, says the IMF, International Monetary Fund. Ramadan, Etsunukpe warns against inciting preaching. Yeah, and that is on page 12. So let's take blueprints and see what blueprint has for us today. Okay, so the major headline for blueprints echoes what this in previous paper just said. Why we can't expose sensitive election materials, says INEC. Reps 6 5-year jail term, 5 million for PVC bridge. Kaduna police prop 30 cows missing in own custody. All right, that is on page 29. Buhari, I know the weight of my responsibility, right? Reps urge army to pay sexual abuse victim 5.2 million naira. That story is on page 15 of the blueprint. You find CBN injects $205 million into forex market. That story is on page 34 in the finance world. 2,000 Ebonyi traders sacked from Cross River lose livelihood. A very pathetic story there. Sporting Sun. There you have the picture of Eden Hazard, and the headline that goes with it is Hazard to force remove. And the complete story of it entirely, you are going to find it on the center spread. So here you have the Anfield miracle. Yes, that is what Sporting Sun calls it. Calls it the Anfield miracle. Bay, Cruz plus cash for Pogba. Well, that sounds like a good deal. Leicester coach blames Iheanacho for Man City loss as West Ham plus move for Super Eagles star. Well, that doesn't sound good, but the entire story is on page 6. Let's just take one more paper and we'll look at Daily Independent. What exactly is Daily Independent saying? At the major headline there you have Tinubu El-Rufai lock horns over NGF chair. Lagos is not Kaduna, Igbokwe tells El-Rufai. The complete story continues on page 4 of today's Daily Independent. Above the masthead you have Kano Assembly approves life pension for Speaker Deputy. Okay, that story is on page 11. Kogi Guba, I am not afraid of Igala candidates. That is Yaya Bello speaking, and that is on page 5. I was abducted by Fulani herdsmen, paid 5 million naira ransom, OAU Prof. And below the picture story here is that of the Vice President eating with peoples at the flag up of homegrown school feeding program at St. Michael's Primary School at Deokiti yesterday. And below the picture story you have Buhari seeks UN assistance over insecurity in Northeast. Says Boko Haram has rendered 1 million children fatherless. Senate agrees IGP over killings, kidnappings. Security personnel not enough, says IGP, and the story continues on page 4. And that is all that we can take for today. And we hope to be back here tomorrow to take more headlines, see what's actually happening there. Thank you very much.
back to Daybreak Africa. Thank you, Victor, for that newspaper review. Like Sandra, it seems the security issues, it's becoming something that it just keeps popping up in the news every day.
To think that the president has also invited the UN to come in so that they will intervene in this issue, the problem is becoming so unbecoming.
Yes,
because
it is.
every day we wake up in the morning, you hear of killing from this place, from that place, from there. And the federal government, it's not as if they are not at it. Of course, they are doing something about it. But the issue now, the real thing that the president has done, I'm really proud of him for doing that. For when you have an issue and people you cannot handle it yourself, you have to look for assistance. For him to invite
you don't think it's late? I feel this thing is something the president should have done way before now. Because he mentioned it, about 1 million children have lost their parents.
I don't think it's too late, because there are still the killings are going on every day. Sometimes you just have to you have to be cautious about some things, but it comes to a level where you have to throw caution to the wind and take the appropriate decision. Okay. This is the right time.
We hope the federal government is doing what they are meant to do, because the security issue is of serious concern.
And let's move to sport. Yesterday, oh God, I'm not really a fan of sports.
You can't wait to start this sports issue.
I can't wait because I watched it live myself. I saw what Origi did in the 7 minutes of the match. He scored the first goal, bringing Liverpool from shame. After the second,
fan, are you?
I'm an Arsenal fan, but yesterday I was very impressed with what Liverpool did in the second half when they were just coming in. Wijnaldum now scored second goal. Liverpool fans, everybody stood up and they were like, stand up for the champion. Before you know it, within 2-3 minutes, he scored another goal. Me, myself, I stood up, I said, let's bar the king.
At least that put a smile to everybody's
everybody at the point we were thinking that this match is going to end, then they will go to extra time so that they will see the winner. Then Liverpool now came back again. Origi now scored the fourth goal, you can just imagine. And congratulations to all Liverpool. I'm proud of you people. You did us proud.
At least that puts a smile to everyone's face. Talking about the security issue, at least there's something to unwind with, thinking about
definitely.
it.
Football is something that unites the people. You see two best enemies before when they are playing match, the next thing you see them
shaking hands. Yeah.
We are proud of you. Thank you for that. Now, what we want to go moving forward, we are going to somewhere. In everything you do, you have to consider your health. Health is very important.
Yeah,
so there are some essential foods that one needs to take to balance your system and make you feel healthy. Let's go to Diane to tell us what she has for us today. Diane, over to you.
Hello and welcome to this episode of Healthy Living on Television Nigerian. Today we'll be looking at reasons why we should eat more fruits. Eating plenty of fruits and veggies may help reduce the risks of many diseases, including heart disease, high blood pressure, and some cancer. Fruits and veggies are rich in vitamins and minerals that help you feel healthy and energized. Let's look at reasons why you need to eat more fruits. Eating lots of fruits lowers the risk of developing diseases. Fruits and veggies have shown to play a great role in our health and, more importantly, helps to fight diseases with the presence of phytonutrients in them, which includes well-known antioxidants. Fruit makes you strong. The water content in fruits makes your skin soft and well hydrated. All fruits has antioxidants, which combats free radicals. Fruits high in fiber helps take off fat and cholesterol from the body. Fiber consumption is vital for the heart and digestive health. Fill the gap with fruits and veggies. Say no to foods high in cholesterol. Fruits helps to boost brain strength. Fruit makes you feel energized and healthy. If you're a woman of childbearing age or in your first trimester of pregnancy, you need folate, known as folic acid, a nutrient that is found in fruits and vegetables. Folate reduces the risk of birth defects during your baby's development. Fruits are a quick and natural snack. We have varieties of fruits that require no chopping, slicing, or dicing and can be prepared in a snap. Fruits and veggies are something for everyone, with a wide variety of colors, textures, tastes, and forms. There is a fruit and vegetable for everyone. So don't stop at a few favorites. Expand your palate and improve your health with more. Fruits keeps your digestive system easy. It is budget friendly. Fruits and vegetables are cost friendly compared to the items we spend our food budget on that are expensive and provide little nutrition. Additionally, fruits and vegetables can also increase children's focus in the classroom so that they can be able to learn new information as well as retain what has been learned. More so, eating more fruits yourself will make you a good role model for your kids. You have more credibility when you tell them to eat an apple instead of a cookie. Remember, children are great imitators. Fitness starts at home. What you eat is what you look. Just as what you sow is what you reap. Eat good food, eat vegetables, healthy grains, and don't go for sweets and junk foods. Don't forget, the sugar known as fructose is naturally sweeter than table sugar and has low glycemic index. Add fruit today to your existing desserts for extra nutrition. This is the end of today's episode of Healthy Living. Keep watching television, Nigerian. I am Diana Uvra.
Thank you, Diane, for that special report. Diane has told us that what we eat is what we do.
Exactly.
So it's very important for you to complete your day with a glass of juice and always ensure that you have some vegetables in your house so that in case of emergency, you just have to take. There's no level of vegetable that is too much in the body.
There's too much in the system.
You have to keep taking it because it makes you look good and glowing.
That's true. That brings us to what we talked about yesterday. You remember we talked about this week is the hygiene week, is the World Hygiene Week. So we're going to feed you with all the hygiene things you need to do. Today, Uchechi is going to be telling us what we need to do to stay clean. Let's see what Uchechi has for us.
Hand hygiene is a way of cleaning your hands to substantially reduce potential harmful microorganisms on the hands. It is considered a primary measure for reducing the risk of transmitting infection among patients and healthcare personnel. World Hand Hygiene Day takes place on every 5th of May. The World Hand Hygiene Day campaign is part of a major global effort led by the World Health Organization to save lives, as it is the single most important way to stop the spread of infection. The hand is a very valuable part of the body. People collect money, exchange gifts, and also eat with their hands. But the hand can also be destructive through the transmission of infection, which could lead to death. The hand is the most viable and common means of transmitting infection. There are billions of germs on the hands which cannot be seen with the eyes, but if kept clean, diseases can be averted.
Very important. It's the most important thing you can do to prevent spread of infections around the hospital. We know that many times patients go to hospital with one disease and end up getting another, or they going to hospital with one disease and end up getting a more serious one. So one of the ways we prevent it, and National Hospital is committed to, is by spreading the news of hand hygiene. We ensure that our patients perform hand hygiene, and we teach our clients also to perform hand hygiene so infections are not transmitted.
When it comes to infection, the hand is the most viable means of transmission. Therefore, keep your hands always clean. Don't assume, particularly when you visit a sick person, particularly when you visit a healthcare institution. When you're leaving, make sure that you wash your hands. If you have a hand sanitizer, use it. before you leave the environment. If there is no hand sanitizer, wash your hand with soap and water. There is no particular soap that is better than the other. What we find is to use soap and water to wash your hand.
Studies have shown that about 1/3 of patients that die in hospitals die from infection. Doctors and nurses transmit to patients, patients transmit to doctors and nurses, and it can be acquired from the environment, but hand hygiene could help reduce the spread of such infections.
The rate of hospital-acquired infection varies from environment to environment. I mean, in some areas it's as low as 2-3%. In some it's as high as 25 to 30%. So most of these infections, as we have them today, are so resistant that once you acquire them, treatment is a very big challenge. In fact, some of the bugs do not have any effective treatment as of today. And so we prefer to keep these infections down. If we don't transmit them, they will not infect anybody. And it has been established that the hand is the most viable and most common route of transmission. And so that's why the WHO has picked up the hand. It's not as if the hand is the only one, but it's the most important one in the transmission of infection within the healthcare environment. We want to deal with the hand. If we deal with the hand, we'll be breaking, a cycle of transmission of infections.
Infection prevention and control, including hand hygiene, is critical to achieve universal health coverage, as it is a practical and evidence-based approach which demonstrated in part on quality of care and patient safety across all levels of the health system. In order to prevent these infections, it is therefore important to ensure that you keep your hands clean at all times by washing them with soap and water and using hand sanitizers.
If you're from my village, they just do one hand in the water and it's called hand washing. Really, that's not hand washing. The most important parts, the parts that harbors the most bacteria, are your fingernails. So in performing hand hygiene, you have to make sure that your fingernails, the nail beds, are well scrubbed. So that is one of the most important things in hand hygiene. Then, of course, there are specific steps that have been taken, should be taken. They don't have to be taken back to back, but the essence of those steps is just to make sure that each and every part of your hand is free from harmful bacteria.
World Health Organization is calling on everyone to get inspired by the global movement to achieve better health and well-being for all people at all ages, including financial risk protection, access to quality essential health care services, and access to safe, effective, quality and affordable essential medicines and vaccines for all.
The health authorities are there, right from the local government level down to the state, down to the federal level. There, of course, we have institutions like ours today. Today we are involved. We have our Infection Prevention and Control Committee dealing with it, sensitizing people, teaching them what to do to break the cycle of transmissions. We also expect that the same thing will be going on in so many other hospitals. At the community level, we expect that the various health authorities will take measures to communicate the information to the communities, to the people in the community. Those of you in the media also, you pass the message back to them. I mean, we have been doing a lot of marvelous work. So we expect that you pick it up as an issue that we need to disseminate to the communities. It's everybody's business. We have to break the cycle of infection.
Remember, clean care for all is in your hands.
Apparently, we're talking about the whole of this week is going to talk about hygiene, and because it's World Hygiene Day. Yeah. And Uchechi brought very clear points to me. I understand. I read a book that says anytime you go to the hospital, once you open the door or anything you use your hands in doing, make sure you don't put your hands in the pocket, because those hygienes, those bacteria that you got from the door and from the handles, once you put them in your pocket, they follow you back home.
You know, you find out sometimes when I go to the market, I see instances where market women, someone is selling fish to you. She uses the same hand to touch the money. She uses the same hand to touch other things, and then she picks it back and puts for you.
Just imagine when we talk about food now, the same woman, you go and shake hands with her, you come back, you take your fruit, put them in your mouth. You know, without even washing.
That's true.
Put them in your mouth and look, just imagine what it will cost.
Yeah,
so it is very important for you, in whatever you do, make sure you
keep your
hands
hands
clean.
It's very important.
Very,
and it goes beyond
important.
not just the hands, but yourself. You
Definitely.
learn to keep yourself clean. Because in that way, the people around you, you don't transmit anything, you don't transmit bacteria, and you don't transmit anything to the people.
Now moving forward, entrepreneurship is the knack of sensing opportunities where others see chaos, contradiction, and confusion. Now we are going to this special report right now that talks about entrepreneurship. Let me not tell you what it is. When you get there, when we come back, we'll talk about this. Don't go away. Stay tuned. See you shortly.
16 in modern eateries is considered a statement of class for some. For others, it is enjoying tastefully furnished meals in a conducive environment, yet to some others, it holds little or no value as they outrightly prefer meals from local eateries, which they claim is more palatable, nutritious, and economical. We spoke to Nigerians on what informs their choice of eatery. Let's hear from them. Which do you prefer? Do you prefer the modern eateries or the local eateries?
Well, I would say the modern eatery, but I want to believe both two are very important.
Okay.
Depending on where you are, there are some local places you go, you will not have the modern eatery. It's what is available to you that you go as well. Exactly.
So what about the modern eatery too?
Well, the modern eatery too is good because at least I want to believe that whatever you are eating there is upgraded and everything is to the standard.
Yeah.
Exactly. Whatever they are using. Their recipe, everything is on the standard distance.
Yeah.
I prefer local eatery.
Why?
Because it's kind of more of homecoming. It's kind of more of home thing. You are grown up with it, right from maybe your home or from your village. So I prefer the local.
Modern eatery is okay.
Why?
Like me, I don't eat outside, but if I must eat outside, I prefer the modern one because, like you said, local. Local is local. Number one, I don't know where they cook the food. I don't trust the cooker. I don't know how hygienic the person is. So you don't just give everybody. I believe food is life. What that goes into your system can kill you. So going to a local place to eat is like you're just giving your life to anybody to keep, and it's very risky.
A local eatery. And why I prefer it is a local eatery really shows the taste of the food more than the other restaurants. Because the local eatery, I prefer it. The reason why I prefer it is I was grew up with in a local way.
So for how long have you been in the business?
I've been in the business for not less than 30 years.
So comparing it to their previous period and the now, what do you think is the difference?
The difference are far much. Then it was better than this time around. Okay. The quantity of food I said then it was more bigger than the one I said this time around.
Okay.
And this time around, with that little one I came, I will not be able to finish it. And still, they will not also permit us to be able to do that thing the way it's supposed, because we are illegal here.
Even though I don't eat in public places, but I still prefer the modern eatery because they are generous with their food. Their food are expensive, but they are generous. The local eateries, they are very expensive and they are not generous, and the food is unhygienic. The hygienic standard of the local eatery is not up to standard because wherever they want to prepare food, they don't care whether you are watching their dirty habit, whether you are not watching their dirty habit. They just do it as they like. Whether you like, you eat. If you don't eat it, another person is coming to eat it.
You've heard the views of Nigerians. Some prefer the local eatery, while some prefer the modern eateries. As for me, I prefer anything that is suitable for my taste, now. Okay, that's the much we have for you today on Business News. I am Chiwende Osisiagu. Thanks for watching.
So Lucy, tell us, which do you prefer?
For me, I prefer anything that is clean and sweet. So it doesn't matter if it's the top restaurant, if it's the local one, or if it's the one made at home. As far as it's clean and tasty, I'm all for it.
Honestly, I prefer, sometimes you just want to go local. I just want to go local. If I want to eat any other good thing, I just want to go there. I will look for a way to get something like that in my house. Although there are some certain things that you cannot prepare for yourself, you have to go out there.
That's true, because sometimes you just.
But there's more taste you get from Mama Put. It's very nice that you cannot withdraw, but you just have to go for begiri. Just imagine you want to eat begiri and how will you prepare it in your house, and amala?
Exactly.
So you have to go local. Very important.
Okay, that takes us to the next special report. We're going right now to Arts, Life and Style, where Uchechi is going to be telling us about ankle chains. Stay tuned.
An anklet is a piece of jewelry, usually a chain, beads or both, that fashionable women ordinarily wear it around their ankles as a fashion statement. Nigerians sometimes call it leg chain or ankle chain. Through history, however, anklets have connoted different meanings to different cultures, and yes, it does mean indecency to some cultures. The terms anklets or ankle chains ring a bell sonorously enough. Today, ankle chains are shaping one of the main accessory trends sported at runway shows. But are anklets to be deemed just as a piece of fashionable accessory? I personally feel that anklets are just more than a fashionable trend, and that ambiguity is whetting my appetite to explore the meanings of anklets. So let us jointly make an entertaining tour through the anklet zone on this edition of Arts, Life and Style. We will continue after this break. The latest runway shows brought forth a series of anklet designs and a couple of versions on how best to style them. Anklets can be of different designs, made out of various materials: gold, silver, leather, plastic, beads, and shells, and a focal point of mixing and matching procedures. It may be a misleading guess to think that anklets are just go-go pieces without any history behind them and without any symbolism hidden within them. Anklets do have history worth exploring and delving into. In the time past in Egypt, anklets was a form of class distinction to tell the rich from the poor. Wives of rich men wore gold chains, while the slaves or the poor wore silver, metallic, or leather anklets. Accounts, however, claim worshippers of the deity Baal prescribed anklets for commercial sex workers. Those accounts, however, remain largely unconfirmed. In ancient India, anklets were in broader circulation than in any other region. They might indicate marital status of a woman or just serve as an ornament. The flexible ankle chains called paya were widely spread in India among dancers. In Christianity, however, it is the anklet worn on the left side that is considered to be a symbol of the devil and everything connected with evil forces in general. There is also another version of belief that the bracelet worn on the right ankle is telling about its wearers being of non-traditional sexual orientation. In some culture in early times, women wore an anklet because the sound of anklet indicates that a woman is going out of the house, which was not allowed in the earlier times, especially without permission. It was an indirect method to keep a check on women by family members, as women were said to be monitored back then. Well, Ask Life and Style has compiled some secret meanings of ornament piece anklet for you. Many women may think the name anklet is just a male trinket. It is actually a widely recognized symbol that a woman is married or committed yet available to other men for sexual activities with husband's consent and encouragement. Wow, despicable, right? When a married woman wears an anklet, it is a symbol that she is a beautiful wife, and that means that she stays committed to her husband but takes advantage of the agreed upon freedom to enjoy intimate encounter with other men. This is terrible. Now you know what an anklet is, so think twice before you become a fan. With this, we wrap up this edition of Ask Life and Style. Remember not to make fashion own you, but decide what you are, what you want to express by the way you dress and the way to live. I am Uchechi Lemowa. Bye for now.
Thank you, Uchechi, for that update on ankle. Like, some of the views actually made me laugh. Really, talking about ankle chains and all that.
Are meant for prostitutes. Some people say are meant for. They make some people look irresponsible. But let me tell you, people love what they love for different reasons.
Exactly.
So you can't judge someone because someone is wearing an anklet or someone is. Don't judge people. Just allow them to live their life. Life is live, let's live.
Exactly. Anyway, they are all, they are all whatever to their opinion. They are all entitled to their opinions. Yes.
Okay, moving on. For many, their entrepreneurship journey started as a need to address a particular problem or a need in the society. Let's go to Rwanda and find out how this entrepreneurship journey started.
Gerard Sina is one of Rwanda's leading entrepreneurs. He already owns a string of successful businesses, but it's his latest venture that's captured public interest.
Human beings like music, right? So I asked myself, why shouldn't animals like it too? Every creature has feelings. So I did some research by building 2 farms, one with music playing constantly and the other without it. After some time, I found that the farm with music had higher production than the farm without. One pig gives birth to about 10 piglets in the quiet farm, while in the one with music, a pig will produce about 15 piglets. You can even taste the difference in their meat.
Sina's piggeries are located in northern Rwanda, but he says he came across the unique technique 10 years ago on a visit to Belgium. Soft ballads by artists like Celine Dion or soothing reggae tunes by Bob Marley are played after meals to ease digestion. High-tempo tracks by legendary American rappers like Jay-Z or Tupac are used later to pack them up.
My pigs listen to different types of music depending on the time of day. When it's time to give them food, we have one type of music we play, and after feeding them, we put slow music on for 3 to 5 hours. After that, they sleep deeply. When they wake up, we play more aggressive music, and you can see that they move, they dance, and you see a change in their mood.
Edmond Dizeye, who just could be the world's first pig DJ, was hired to put together playlists, monitor audio levels, and look after the sound equipment.
The kind of music we're playing here, it's like East African. You know, this region is for East African. From Rwanda, Tanzania, or then we're mixing for the music come from America, hip hop, France, slow, R&B.
Although his claims have not been tested scientifically, Sina is confident that pig farming is one of the ways Rwanda can combat poverty. He gives away about 150 piglets to local families every month. The firstborn is returned to Sina. The rest of the litter stays with the foster family, while the mother is passed on to another family. In addition, he started the school where 700 pupils from different villages study free of charge. He visits the school regularly to check on the students' progress.
What I think and hope will come to happen is that these children will be tomorrow's leaders. Growing up in this environment, they will learn about farming and rearing different livestock. And with the development and technologies that are coming up, these are the same children who will take our country forward.
Sina also helps small-scale farmers like Marie-Christina Mukakimenyi invest in growing cash crops like grapes and passion fruit.
As you can see, I'm an old woman. I'm 52 years old and I'm a widow. I've got to raise 5 children. But Tina gave me an opportunity to work and I'm able to take care of my family. He gave us the various seeds and from that we are able to make enough money and provide our daily needs. I've never lacked and I can now even help anyone who is less fortunate.
The seeds and other farming inputs he distributes to people like Mukakimenyi will help ensure that there's a constant supply of fruits for his processing plant that produces the popular agasha juice.
The name Agasha came about because when I came up with the formula to make Agasha juice, I wanted it to really mean just that, shining. It should be the best juice in the world. That is why even in Rwanda, where there are many different types of juices, Agasha is the one that is exported and has become a success. Basically, I want all my products to do well and show that good things can come out of this country.
Sina is tight-lipped about his net worth, but without much local or international competition, his various farm products have achieved wide success in Rwanda. He exports wine, cheese and chili sauce to North America and Europe. But despite high economic growth over the last decade, poverty rates are still high. According to the World Food Programme, the country's crowded hillsides and rapid population growth have led to deforestation, soil erosion, and hurt agricultural productivity. About 90% of the population lives off farming. Sina hopes his example will inspire other Rwandans to invest in agriculture. He started his first enterprise, a bakery, in the early 90s, so he knows how long it takes to get a business running smoothly and how important it is to take regular breaks.
This dance group is made up of all my workers. After 3 p.m., when the work is finished, we rest. We came up with this group to keep people from getting involved in antisocial behavior after work. This way, both the workers and villagers here can learn more about their culture and also just relax and also maybe take part in competitions.
It's his ability to innovate while remaining focused on local markets that have brought Sina such success. His approach to pig farming indicates a love for new challenges and experiences that will provide even more opportunities for him and other entrepreneurs in his country to evolve.
You know, it's very, very encouraging to know that it's not just Nigeria that is talking about agriculture. You know, everywhere around Africa, it's been, you know, everyone is being encouraged to actually go into agri, because I think, for me, I think it's the way forward right now.
Certainly, to even think that there is even a DJ for animals. In Rwanda, I've seen that for the first time. That is very encouraging. That it promotes agriculture, it promotes what you are doing. Whatever it is that you're doing, just do it diligently.
Yeah,
and the sky will be a starting point for you.
That's true. So that brings us to the end of this program this morning. Do not forget, you can always follow us, leave your comments on our social media handles, and we'll be back same time tomorrow. I remain Lucy Ora.
And I'm Sandra Guana. Don't forget that this week is World Hygiene Day. Ensure that you keep your hands clean, yourself clean, and your environment clean. Everything about you should be clean. See you same time tomorrow.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.